everybody, it's Miss Street here again. So I'm finally getting together a next video. The first one that I did was on sanitizing spray. Today we're going to talk a little bit about washing our hands. Now I know this is something you already know how to do, but I want to just go over and review the important parts. So the poster that I'm going to have attached to this video is how to wash your hands. It goes through the general things such as get your hands wet first, apply the soap, rub your hands together, rinse your hands, dry with a towel, and then turn off your tap and throw your towel away. However, the part that I want to focus on today is the parts of your hands that you should be washing, okay? So we often, when we're washing our hands, we go and we forget the different parts of our hands that we have to wash. I've included here, as we've talked about in class, the 6 different parts. The palms, okay, the palm of your hand, between your fingers, the tops of your hands, your thumb, your fingernails, and finally your wrists. So again, I'll be attaching this as, along with this video so that you can refer to these parts, because those are the 6 parts that you should know. When I quiz you in class, I say, what 6 parts of your hands should you wash? And that's what I'm looking for you to understand. So for today, we are going to do a demonstration here of why this is important. Instead of using soap as we normally would, we're going to use some black paint today. So again, the first thing that you're to do is you're to get your hands wet. So I'm getting my hands wet here, okay? And next I'm going to put on some soap, or in this case, some paint. Oh, if I can open it up. So I've got the paint on here. And then what I'm going to do, and this is what we usually do, you then rub your hands together, okay? But then look and see. This is the only part of my hands that I'm washing. I want you guys to look today and focus on getting all parts of your hands. So let's go back to the sheet here and talk and look at what parts does it talk about covering. Well, your palms first. Well, that's what we normally do, and I have done here. The next part we're going to focus on is, I'm going to do this over top of the sink because it's making a little bit of a mess, is between our fingers. So now watch, I'm getting in between my fingers, and see how the soap, okay, soap, the soap is also getting in between the fingers. The next part is we want to do the tops of the hands. Now, if we don't focus on doing the tops of our hands, then the tops of our hands don't get washed, and any bacteria that might be there, or germs, then can potentially get into our food. We also need to do the thumbs. Now, when you do your thumbs, you want to do all the way around. You want to do from the top of your fingers all the way down. Here we're going to do again the other side, and I'm just using my whole hand to go around my thumb, okay? Next is the fingernails. Now, when we're doing fingernails, you can do like this, okay? Or you can even do like this, where you're rubbing them together, but you want to make sure those fingernails get a nice good scrub, especially if your fingernails look like my daughter's, because she's often got dirt underneath them. Just joking. All right, next part and last part is your wrist. Now, when you're doing your wrist, I grab your wrist just like you did with your thumb and do both sides, okay? So go ahead and do that. Now, if my soap started to dry out, I could get a little bit more water to help spread that around. But look and see now how I've covered my hands completely with our soap. So then when I go to rinse it, I'm then also going to make sure that I'm scrubbing those same parts again. Oftentimes when we rinse our hands, we just rinse here like this, which means we're leaving all other kinds of bacteria on the other parts of our hands. So instead, while rinsing, we also want to scrub. So now I'm going to go ahead and scrub as I rinse, and those same parts in between my fingers, my thumbs, whoops, my fingernails, tops of my hands, don't forget the tops of your hands, your wrists, in between your fingers, palms, everywhere, okay, and then that way, except for the stuff that ran down my hands here, you can see that I have thoroughly washed and cleaned all different parts of my hands, okay? The gloves do kind of hold on to a few pieces, but please keep this in mind. When you are preparing for any of the recipes that I'm about to post, I do want you to practice on thoroughly washing your hands, not just a little scrub and get started. No, thoroughly wash them, even making sure you're rinsing. Some people do all the way up their wrists, which is a good idea too, okay? Now, obviously, you're not gonna wash your hands with paint. I want you to wash your hands with soap, okay? So just as we would do normally. Now I'm going to finish rinsing this off here. And dry with a paper towel. Oftentimes you guys will have towels at home. You could use a towel at home, but you know at school we use the paper towel, and that's how you can turn off your tap too. I have a tap that turns on and off automatically, but you could just turn the handle on and off, okay? All right, signing out. Peace from Miss Street.